Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we might have some good news for the cruise ships sailing to Alaska that has their itineraries possibly affected because of that longshoreman strike in British Columbia. We also have a cruise passenger airlifted off a cruise ship for something you don't hear very often. And we also have notification that a private island is going to be closing for 6 weeks. That's right, just yesterday I reported that the longshoremen in British Columbia, they service things like taking luggage on and off cruise ships, the gang plates, etc., at the cruise terminals and the cruise ports. They voted 99.24% to go on strike. And they are eligible for strike action as of June 1st, Canada Day, tomorrow. Yeah, pretty short notice, right? Now, CLIA and the other cruise lines out there, CLIA is the Cruise Line International Association, and they have been in negotiations with the unions, and they pretty much say they have a verbal agreement that the cruise ships will not be the target of the strike action. Now, of course, that can also depend on how long the strike goes on and how negotiations turn, right? If negotiations turn really sour and management threatens to lock them out or anything, lots can change in negotiations, especially between government branches or companies and unions, you know what I mean. But the good news is they say it should not affect cruises to begin with, at least. And that's good news for anybody sailing to Alaska, because if you can't get on and off the ship, that means a lot of headache, especially if you're leaving from Canada. Forget about just coming to Canada for a one-day stopover. Imagine if you were leaving out of Vancouver, Canada, and you can't get your luggage on board, and you can't get the gang plates put in place, etc., and you can't put products on the ship for supply. Those were the things that would be affected. And so good news, they seem to have a verbal agreement out there for that. Let's hope that continues, and hope the strike doesn't interfere with the cruise lines and Alaska's cruise season at all, because that would be terrible after a pandemic to all of a sudden have another season affected by something completely out of the control of the cruise lines and the ports you're visiting. That would be an actual shame. Also, we have MSC Cruise Lines has announced that their Ocean Cay, the MSC Marine Reserve, they will be closing down. That's right, they're going to be doing renovations on the island. Well, normally when you do renovations on the island, you'll close a section of the island off, but they're closing the whole thing, which is leading a lot of people to speculate that they might just be doing some pretty darn big improvements. I mean, you have some big islands out there. You have Nassau's new place being opened by Royal Caribbean. You have Disney's private island out here. You have Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And MSC wants to compete with those cruise lines and those private islands. So they obviously may be doing some pretty great things on that island. Let's hope they up their game on their private island as well. But it will be closing April 7th through May 22nd in 2024. So keep that in mind if you're booking an MSC cruise ship or thinking about it, that if you thought, hey, the private island is the way to go, you may not be going to that private island. Instead, you'll be going to ports like Nassau or other ports like that. If you're happen to be on a ship and you're already booked, and you do not like the new itinerary, you really wanted to go to the private island, MSC is offering refunds and allowing you to change your cruise as well, which is terrific. Giving people the option. Plus, you have a long period of time before you were supposed to sail, so you can choose another ship, choose another itinerary, and basically figure out what you really want to do for your cruise. So good on MSC for offering guests all of that. Now I have a story about somebody who was airlifted off a cruise ship but before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, everything from your private island might get canceled to your Alaska cruise might be affected, to tips and tricks to make your cruise just a little bit easier and maybe even save you some money in the meantime. I really hope you'll join us. We'll try and keep it as lighthearted as possible, and when you subscribe, it really does help the channel out. It doesn't mean you're going to get emails. It doesn't mean you're going to get anything like that. It'll just say, hey, Don's put up another video. Would you like to watch it? When you click on the YouTube. That's all that happens. Well, and again, I really do appreciate it. Okay. Passenger was airlifted by Coast Guard about 230 miles off the coast on the cruise ship Voyager. Now, what's odd about this one is normally it's because of things like stroke or, feeling unwell or, medical condition like the heart or something along those lines. This one was due to loss of blood, substantial loss of blood. Now, obviously on a cruise ship, they don't have blood supplies, right? They don't have a storage facilities where they're storing plasma and blood and things like that for blood transfusions. They're there for emergency medical, and if you need to get off the ship, they airlift you off, and that's exactly what happened. No explanation yet of what exactly happened or what caused the blood loss. Obviously an accident of some kind, but the Coast Guard crew said they did airlift them, brought them to the medical facility on shore, and the passenger is doing fair. So let's hope that condition turns to really good and the passenger is okay. It's very rare that I see an evacuation out there because of loss of blood. And some people keep thinking that the medical facilities on a cruise ship have everything. While they have a lot, they can do a lot on a cruise ship. They can mend your bones. They can do things and get you temporary help. But something as severe as a severe blood loss and everything, it's a stopgap measure until you get to the hospital and get the proper care you actually need. And again, one of those reasons, there's one of my tips again, folks, make sure you have insurance when you cruise. Imagine how much money this passenger would have to pay being airlifted off the cruise ship, loss of blood, going in the hospital, probably you'll be there a week, if not more. How much money do you think that would cost if you had to pay for it out of your pocket? And if you think your credit card covers you, think again. Most credit cards do not cover medical airlift evacuation. Some do, some don't. And a lot of it depends on the type of card you have with that particular credit card company. So yeah, check those things out. But again, I hope that passenger recovers quickly and is okay. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.